Ignite, the sales methodology of social selling and influence. And while this is not solely a sales methodology, in its best form, it is a digital transformation for the entire organization, because the people that we deal with most frequently at least start with the sales team. We refer to it as a sales methodology. First, a clarification. There's quite a big distinction between the size of your network and the number of your connections. Maybe you've already got 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 or more connections on LinkedIn. That's the number I just asked you to write down. The problem is, with that many connections, you don't know who most of them are. But that's okay, because most of them don't know who you are either. Having a lot of connections is not the same as having a big network. A big network is having a lot of people who do know who you are. The interesting thing is that for all of us who aren't in our early 20s, we would have cut our teeth doing that face-to-face networking stuff. And the beauty of this is that a lot of those skills that we developed in that face-to-face environment are really, really vital here. This is like taking your old school analog behaviors, the skills you've spent years developing, and transferring them into the digital space. And anyone who's been in business more than a couple of years has got a little black book or some type of equivalent. Typically, that black book is full of all of the people that you've met. You know, there's your standard contacts, your targets, the people you want to go after. There's your champions, the people that love you and always seem to be engaging with you and what it is that you're saying and trying to help you. There's people that have bought from you previously, your customers, and there's people that you've bought from, a number of vendors. It's exactly the same in the digital space as well. And like with your offline network, your digital network's value is determined by a number of things. Size, of course. If everything else remains constant and you move from 1,000 connections to 2,000 connections, that network must be twice as valuable. Now, we sometimes get pushback from people we work with who say, yeah, but you've got 10,000 people in your network. You can't possibly know 10,000 people. And the answer is no, I don't know 10,000 people. I don't need to. I need 10,000 people to know me. There's a big difference there. We need to make sure that we're making our network as big as we possibly can. Yes, it needs to be focused, and it needs to be the right kind of connections, et cetera, but it needs to be as big as we can possibly make it. And we need to be active within that network. All of us have people in our network that have connected to us, and then we've never seen them again. They've never published anything. They've never engaged with any of our content. They've never done anything to remind us that they exist. One of the things that we must do is to make sure that we're constantly active with our network, but especially with those people we want to have some sort of dialogue with. And the question we need to ask ourselves is our network in the right place? So often we see that people that have had widely varying careers, myself included. I used to work in hospitality, and then I worked in telephone sales, and then I worked in education. And you see that people like that, their network has clusters of people that are also in those roles. But the people that you want to be influencing and having conversations with today, are you connected to lots of those people? For most of us, the answer is no. I'm connected to lots of people I used to work with and lots of people in the town that I used to live. But actually, where I'm heading in my career, I'm not connected to many of those people. For so many people, even those who have large networks, sometimes especially those who have large networks, their network is not anything that they can drive any value from. If you want to be talking to sales leaders and you're not connected to any sales leaders, the fact that you've got 10,000 people that work in legal services or human resources or whatever is essentially valueless to you, at least in terms of any potential direct commercial output. We need to make sure that the people we're connected to are the people that we want to be connected to now. And that doesn't mean we should limit our network to the people with the right job title. We also want to be connected to the people who can influence the people with the right job title. Fundamentally, we have to make sure that the people we're connecting to and we're trying to have some sort of dialogue with are the people that we can mobilize to do some work for us. And that we've got a depth of connection as well. How well do these people know you? The fact that you're connected to somebody counts for nothing. Would you offer someone a job just simply because you happen to be a connection of theirs? Probably not. Do you know these people? Do you understand them? More importantly, do these people know you? Do they understand you? Do they think that you are a person that adds value to their network? Making sure that we're doing all the things that keep reinforcing that we're a good person to know and a good person to have in our network is vitally important. One of the things that we know that people within every organization are disproportionately connected to each other. And that makes sense, really. I'm much more likely to be connected with 10, 20, or more people at an organization where I've worked versus an organization where I have no history. I know at EasyCater, for example, one of the things that we did when new people came on board was connected with them. And as a new person coming on board there, we encouraged them to connect with as many colleagues as possible. So you connect to the person who sits next to you in the office. You connect to all of the people around you each day. You connect to your boss and your VP. That's all perfectly normal. The beauty is that that's perfectly normal for everybody. So the people that you're trying to target within Oracle or Unilever or wherever your target companies are, they're all disproportionately well connected as to each other as well.